Welcome to our YouTube video series on employment law, focusing on employee terminations. My name's Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal. And in this particular video, we're going to discuss being fired and not receiving an explanation from your former employer as to why they are firing you. Now, the fact of the matter is, most employment lawyers who are advising employers will tell the employer that they should not be looking to provide an explanation or rationale for firing an individual if they are intending to pay them the proper amount due in terms of termination and severance pay. Because providing an explanation all too often runs the risk of creating problems for the former employer in the sense of, well, I didn't do that. Are you discriminating against me? Are you looking at stuff improperly? And causing a slew of problems for the employer. So all too often, employers are advised by their legal counsel to simply terminate people, pay them out, and proceed on their way without giving any formal explanation, because providing that explanation is going to be problematic. Naturally, this is different if you're being terminated with cause, such that there has to be a rationale for denying you termination pay and severance pay. And in those circumstances, if there's no explanation being provided to yourself, it's going to provide your former boss a lot of legal jeopardy and a basis upon which to move forward and challenge them. And that's when you have to go talk to a lawyer and go through the process, because if you're being terminated with cause, there actually has to be a legally substantiated cause for the termination and for the denial of termination pay and severance pay. And even that can be challenged. However, if you're being terminated without cause, there is no practical reason for providing an explanation. Legally, employers are permitted to either provide notice or termination pay in lieu of notice, and where applicable, also severance pay for those employees who have been determined to leave the company, irrespective of what the reason is, and they're simply going to be paid out and let go. And from the employer's perspective, their best option is not to say anything. And everybody wants to know why they're being let go, but they're not entitled necessarily to know why. So don't believe that you're going to get the right answer. You can get a truthful answer so long as you're getting your pay. And that's just how you're going to have to live with it, because most employers have been advised by their lawyers not to provide anything by way of rationale or explanation as to why you've been terminated and you've been fired, provided that they've met all the other legal requirements with respect to notice and pay. And that's the reality that you have to be operating on when you find yourself losing your job and not having any proper or complete explanation for why it happened, because otherwise you might well have challenged it. But if there's nothing to challenge from the employer's perspective, from your former boss's perspective, it's a better situation for them. And that's what the lawyers have told them. And that's pretty much the basic reason why. Well, hope that's been of assistance to you and provide some clarity as to why you failed to get an explanation when you've been fired. Thank you.